Hi everyone. I have been very fortunate to be a client for OMETS to have OMETS as part of my life for almost a year now. But first a little about how I got here. I grew up in a small Hasidic community. My education was mostly Torah, a Talmud, in a very traditional way. My spoken language was Yiddish only. I had no access to newspapers, TV, internet, or any knowledge of the outside world besides that community. When I was 13 years old, I was sent to a yeshiva in New York with mostly the same rules and teachings as I grew up with. But I was always asking questions. I was always curious to know more. When I was 19 years old, it was arranged for me to get married. Without going into much detail, I wasn't happy. So after 8 months, I left the marriage and moved back in with my family. After that, I was even more determined to make something better of my life, make something better of myself. More than anything, I wanted a full education. I wanted to know and learn everything out there. All I could do was go to the library to watch movies and surf the internet. I was working on perfecting my English, and I was reading up on all kinds of literature and information. But it didn't take long for my parents to realize the new path I've taken. So after a while, I had to move out of my parents' house, and then they stopped having any contact with me. Living in New York with no legal status, no family, working to support myself was very hard, and I wasn't going anywhere. I felt like I needed change. I changed my surroundings. I wanted to finally get a full education and start a new life. So a little more than a year ago, I came to Montreal. Being that I'm a citizen and education was easier and cheaper, I figured there will be a much better alternative. But I did not know how or where to start. After a while, I was working with this guy who told me about his family coming to Montreal 50 or so years ago from Morocco with no money, only for a taxi from the airport. So back then it was called Jewish Family Services. So he told me today they called OMETS, look them up. So I looked them up and I called them and I was invited to come in. And after a couple of meetings, I was set up to meet with my social worker, Kesha. Since then, my life changed direction in a very good way. With OMETS, I was finally able to start the education I always wanted. I was enrolled in school programs, tutoring programs, workshops, and financial help. But more than that, OMETS have showed me that I'm not alone. I can come with concern, I can come for advice, I can be heard, cared for, and appreciated. Here, I feel home. Recently, thanks to a very special donor, I think she's sitting right there. I was given this amazing opportunity to go to Israel with a mega mission, where I learned so much about the country and Jewish history and culture. But most of all, I had a chance to get to know and become part of this amazing community of people dedicated to help and care for one another. I am filled with gratitude to Kesha for being by my side, doing everything possible to get me through this journey, and everyone else involved, which some I had the opportunity to work close with, and I am very happy to finally meet the rest of the team behind all this. Thank you.